China. What a country. The second most populated country on Earth. Over 1.4 billion people. The third largest country in terms of landmass, slightly ahead of the United States. I spent 4 incredible weeks in this beautiful country, traveling with my husband and teenage boys. Our voluntold tour guide was my brother, who has been living in mainland China for over 8 years, and he was fortunate to have time off from work to join us. This was 4 weeks of flavorful cuisines, epic countrysides, lively tea houses, temples, tombs, panda center, the Forbidden City, endless shopping, and much, much more. In this video, I'll be taking you along to places that are worth checking out, off the beaten path, and we'll share some tips to prepare you for the journey ahead. This is part 1 of my 4-part China series. Join me in this episode as we travel from Guangzhou to Yangshuo to Guiyang. We landed in Hong Kong. It was about a 5-hour flight, more or less, from Tokyo, where we had just spent the past 7 days exploring. We met up with my brother and his friend on our last day while in Tokyo and flew to Hong Kong together. Make sure to check out my Tokyo videos for ideas on what to do while in Japan. We flew into Hong Kong as flight prices to mainland China were insane at that time. We probably saved over $2,000 or more by doing this, as we're a family of 4. You can easily take the high-speed rail from Hong Kong to the mainland. It's about an hour and a half or so ride from Hong Kong to Guangzhou. It was quite simple actually. The airport and train station are almost interconnected. We passed through an underground type border where they checked our papers and passports, and we started our official ride to the mainland China. Stay tuned for a separate video on visas. This will be separate from our China series. I would really love and appreciate if you gave my videos a like. Please subscribe so I can continue making this type of content. Guangzhou, the city of flowers, also known as Canton, has a large Cantonese population compared to the rest of the mainland. It is located on the beautiful Pearl River, a center for international trade, and a melting pot of diverse cultures. This city is going to be our home base. We were visiting during the summertime, July-August, so the average daily temperature was about 38 degrees Celsius or 100 Fahrenheit, plus humidity on top of that. It was hot. Oddly enough, it wasn't uncomfortable. I've been to Miami in the summer and it was unbearable. And this temperature was actually quite fine, other than the sweating part. You're instantly soaked. After a few days though, your body does adapt. A few places we visited while in Guangzhou was the Chimelong Paradise Amusement Park. It's a multi-center park with various entrances where you can go to the safari center, water park, or amusement park. There's various shows, etc. We went to the water park for the day. It was a much needed cool off. It was really interesting going to a water park as a North American visiting here, and I was the only noticeable non-Chinese female in the water park. I did notice all eyes were on me. I was wearing a bikini, as that's pretty normal in North America, but I quickly realized it's a much more conservative culture than our own. All women were wearing one-piece suits. Most, if not all, had a little skirt over the bottom part, so I did feel a little naked in front of everyone. Plus all the stairs didn't help, so I did end up going out front to the entrance and buying a new suit and quickly changed. Walk in the downtown core, you will find the beautiful Canton Tower. At the very top of the tower is a roller coaster that goes around on the outside. This city is full of beautiful architecture. You can walk around the riverside with views of the towering buildings. There's great shopping stops really everywhere, but we really enjoyed the Beijing Road and Shangjiaju pedestrian street. Google Maps is not really great anywhere in China. If you're traveling here, you really want Apple Maps. We did get lost a few times when we were without my brother because we were using an Android. I haven't mentioned that prior to leaving Canada, I had a really terrible ear infection that conveniently started the day before we were heading out. I went into the walk-in clinic back home before I left and was given some antibiotics. The following day, when we were heading on the road to drive down to Boston, my ear was still paining. We stayed overnight in Boston to catch our flight the following late afternoon, and when I woke up, I was in so much pain and I had so much fear to fly with this ear infection. I was ready to actually cancel everything and just pack up and go back home. From the hotel room in Boston, we ended up researching an ear doctor and found that CVS they have a walk-in clinic, which I was easily to book from. Actually, I booked it from our hotel bed right on my phone. And when we left, we paid I believe it was about 150 Canadian to get in and see her. The ear doctor, she gave me drops. She said I'd be okay to fly, not to worry, make sure I take some Advil, and continue the antibiotics that the clinic gave prior to us leaving. Now, before we were in China, we were 7 days in Japan, and although my ear, honestly, was really uncomfortable, but talking to my brother online and as we met up in Japan on our final day there, the plan was to get in to see the doctor as soon as I got into Guangzhou, just because the pain was getting worse and I actually had completely lost hearing out of that ear. Our second day in Guangzhou, I spent the morning going to the ear, nose, throat specialist at a local private hospital. I have to say the healthcare system is the best healthcare I have ever experienced in terms of service, efficiency, cost, and cleanliness. I've been to hospitals in both Canada, United States, Mexico, Dominican Republic, and Thailand. After my consultation, I had a camera and cleaning vacuum put down into my inner ear. Definitely thought it was going to go into my brain. Didn't realize your ear tubes are that long. And they cleaned it out and medicated the inside of my ear. They also switched my medications and diagnosed me with a fungal ear infection. Hence the reason I was wondering why mushrooms were coming out of my left ear. Yes, I did say mushrooms. The total time I spent at the hospital was probably about 2, maybe 3 hours. So, going in first consultation with the doctor, ear procedure, back consulting with the doctor, medications, sent on my way. I did go back a second time near the end of our 4 weeks in China. I'm going to stop here and I'll dive into medical care, visas, transit system, really a more in-depth tips and unique experiences in a separate video. We stayed at the Guiyang Golf Hotel. I'm hoping I'm saying that right. It was close proximity to my brother's condo, so that's why we particularly chose that spot. And this hotel was actually really nice. It's right on a golf course, and it included breakfast. We had a 7-Eleven just steps away from the hotel door, and it was about a city block, maybe a block and a half from a main subway line. And there was also a shopping mall, and the Chimelong amusement park was just, within walking distance as well. Transiting in China by bus or train honestly was a little confusing. We found that English is not widely spoken outside of the foreign tourist areas, and even then it was really minimal. I was really surprised at how very little English was spoken, but you know what? This actually made the trip more exciting. That's the whole point of traveling, experience a new place, seeing the culture, the customs, trying to speak the language. Now, we used a translator app, which we had set up prior to our trip. It's called Papago, has a little image of a parrot. This app allows us to translate signs. You can actually use voice recording to talk to people, and it was such an awesome experience. The smiles on people's faces when we would try to interact with them just was it's unforgettable. I'll leave the name of the app in the comment section. Most of the time while we were navigating the cities, we used Didi, which is basically China's version of Uber. So Didi Ride service, it's located in your AliPay app, and you'll want to have your apps all set up prior to leaving your home country. The food options in Guangzhou are to die for, and it has many flavorful cuisines compared to the rest of China. In saying that, you can find anything here. So what I really loved about being here in China is how family-oriented people are. And every part of the city and everywhere you go, there's outdoor markets, eateries. You see people of all ages socializing and really spending time together. We took the high-speed rail from Guangzhou to the Guiyang station. Again, hoping I'm saying that right. This is a smaller station. Outside, there's a little bus station where you can coordinate tickets to go to Yangshuo. And there's some stalls outside selling snacks, chips, pop, what have you. The bus dropped us off in the city center of Yangshuo, and it's very clearly a high tourist spot. There were many golf carts kind of lined up waiting where the buses drop you off to pick people up and take them to their hotels or their destination. The golf cart took us to our boutique hotel where we had rented 2 rooms to stay a few nights and explore the city and surrounding areas. I want to highlight that in Yangshuo, there are a wide range of hotels, resorts, in various prices. Prices can range from as low as $12 into the thousands. It really depends on how you want to stay and what you're planning on doing. Now, we stayed just a few steps from the Jiang River. Our hotel owner, she was fluent in English, and it was geared towards mountain climbers, hikers, and backpackers. She was great. She coordinated our e-scooter rentals, which cost about $5 per person for an entire day. And she also helped us plan an itinerary of things to see, like the waterfalls and the Moon Mountain. The waterfalls is kind of off the beaten path through the farming village. And she also helped us plan our riverboat tour, which was really breathtaking. You really do want to take advantage of the boat tours while you're there. They do have bamboo raft tours, but we preferred the riverboat. It does take you further down the river, you're higher up, and it gives you a better view of the mountains. It also had a nice indoor seating area, and you have a rooftop lookout, where the bamboo raft is more sitting for 2 people. You're low, you're on the bamboo, and it doesn't go as far or as fast. If you're heading over to the waterfalls, you'll really want to rent an e-scooter. It's not walkable from the downtown, and we did see people try to drive, but it's a path, so you can't really drive on the path. So the 2 or 3 cars that we did see drive there kind of got stuck and had to figure out how to turn around. Anyways, if you're heading over to the waterfalls, on that path, one of the last homes you'll see, and you cannot miss, is Monkey Jane's. Outside, there's like a little stand. She does sell pops and drinks. And Monkey Jane is just one of those people who you meet once in a lifetime and you never forget her. She's a really lively and beautiful person. She spoke excellent English, so it was really easy for us to communicate with her. And her restaurant is located in the courtyard of her home. It's nestled right at the beginning of the trail, ahead of the waterfalls. Like I said, it's the last house you will see. And it's a traditional style Chinese home. When you enter the doorway, it has an open courtyard. It has the original mud bricks. It's just an absolutely beautiful spot. The river is right across from her house. And she cooked the most delicious lemon chicken. Let me tell you, I have tried cooking it since I've been there, and I cannot. And it is the best chicken dish I have ever tasted in my life. It's sweet, it's sour, fresh vegetables, fresh chicken, right from the local farm. It is by far a Michelin star dining. Now, located in Yangshuo is the banyan tree. So there is this humongous tree, and it's over 1,400 years old. It is right in the city center, so make sure you check it out. During the daytime here in Yangshuo, people are bustling around. You'll see girls dressing up in costumes, people filming their TikToks, and just enjoying the beautiful scenery. In the night, the streets light up. Food aromas are everywhere. Night vendors, shopping, markets, music. It feels like a completely different city. We jumped back on the high-speed rail and headed north towards Guiyang. My brother wanted to show us around the city that he first lived in when he moved to China. We stayed 2 nights here and met up with some of his friends and enjoyed local barbecue. Guiyang is a developing city. It's considered one of the poorer provinces in China, and when you come here you can see it's not as developed compared to some of the other larger cities. The people here though are very friendly. I think this is a common theme in China, is everyone seems to be just so friendly. Now, the temperature here was a little cooler compared to the remainder of the other areas that we traveled, and we were really appreciative for the break in heat. Most of our time here for these 2 days was spent socializing. We did take the afternoon to visit Monkey Park or Kunling Park. We walked on the winding trails and came across monkeys. Rule of thumb is don't feed them, you're not supposed to, and never look a monkey in the eyes. I think they get crazy if you look them in the eyes. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this first part of my 4-part China series. If you haven't already, please take a moment and subscribe. Leave a comment, I'd love to hear from you, and stay tuned for part 2 of my China series, where we'll be headed to Leshan and Chengdu. Till next time, happy travels.